In this video, we will see the steps to integrate Particle Js, a JavaScript library, in your existing React application. There are many ways with which you can integrate Particle Js, but I will explain the most efficient and scalable way to do the integration. So let's get started. Hoping that you already have a React application, I have removed the basic UI of React app and simply have added a text in the middle of the screen. We are now going to integrate Particle JS, covering up the full screen as a background to this text. To put it in simple words, I'm just going to remove this violet colored or a bluish colored background and replace it with Particle JS background with whole interactivity. The very first step is to install Particle JS with the following command. Head over to npmjs.com and copy this command. And getting back to the VS Code, creating a new terminal instance, and I'm going to paste the command. Once I hit enter, the React Particle JS package will be installed into my application. Once that is done, I'm going to create two JS files. One is a component which I will create in the source folder. So I'm going to name it as particle background.js. Cool. And I'm also going to create one folder named config, and I'm going to create a config file within this folder, particle config.js. So now once that is done, I'm going to visit a website called Vincent Cario. This is a very interesting website where we can actually visualize this Particle JS with all these toggle functions. So if you visit this website, you can see this Particle JS already integrated, and this Vincent Cario also provides a set of presets which he have created on his own. So I really love this NASA preset, and there is another thing called Bubble. I'm really not a big fan of this one, so let's stick with NASA. And you can also easily tweak these values to make Particle JS up to your requirement. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. So once you can tweak with all these values. So once you are done with and once you are satisfied, you can head over to this download option, which will download the config file as a JSON. So if you notice, we have this JSON file with all these values which we tweak. So what we can do is we can copy this whole JSON, and we are going to convert this JSON into a JS compatible template. So to do that, you need to visit another website which is CSV JSON, which is one of my favorite websites where we can beautify the JSON files. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to paste the JSON values here, and make sure you toggle this no quotes on keys checkbox. So what it will do, it will remove these quote symbols only for the key values, not for the values, only for the keys. It will remove the quotes from the keys. So once I click on beautify, you can see that the result is invalid JSON but a valid JavaScript. So this is exactly what we want. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to head over to my config file. So I'm going to create a function. A constant. What I'm going to do, I'm create a constant called, let's name it as particles config, and I'm going to do the basic things like export default particles config. So now we have this modified JSON with the quotes removed. We have to copy this whole value and paste it, removing these braces. That you have to make sure that you remove these braces and paste the whole values. So now we are done with the config file. Now we have to get the component, the Particle JS component itself. To do that, we are going to create a function. So first I will import React, and also I will import particles from the Particle Js, yes, and I'll also import particle config which we have just created. Particle config, which is for me, it is located inside config and slash particle config. Yeah, so cool. If you haven't created a folder and if you don't want to create a folder, you can simply remove this part and simply point out the particle config. It's up to you. Now I have to create a function, so I'm going to create a default function. I'm going to name it as particle background, and I'm going to return. Here I have to return an NGX element, so here I can call this particles. Cool. But if you notice, we haven't added this particle JS element from your app.js. Sorry, I stopped there a little. So this is the layout which I have added. If you notice, we already have seen the UI. I have a background with a text in the center. So I have this whole element for that. So you can see that I have added some CSS to make the text fall in the center of the screen. Now what we have to do is we have to add the particle JS element here. So to do that, we can simply call particle background, and if you notice, it is automatically imported, so that is fine. But will it work? No, because we haven't added the configuration file into this particles package. So what we have to do is, there is a parameter which we have to pass, which is params equals, and I have to simply name the particle config file. I'm saving it, and if you visit back the website, voila, you have this particle JS integrated. Hope you guys got a better idea of the way to integrate particle JS. If you face any issues, feel free to mention them in the comment or contact me via email. I will also add the website links and the source code link in the description below. Do like this video if the content was helpful to you. Thank you everyone.